Welcome to Loremaster's Lair. I'm your Loremaster, here today for a semi-part 2. Last week we talked about the god Achaekek. However, as we all saw, the information on him is kind of shallow unless you examine two things: Mediogalti and the Red Mantis assassins. We are dealing with classified information, which is hard to come by for those who don't like being dead. But consider that part of the fun. That all said, let's get started. The Red Mantis assassins have always lived in the shadows, serving their lord Achaekek with their blades. However, long ago, they remained much more hidden. Originally living in Rahadom, the group kept a relatively low profile, killing whenever the contracts came and using the funds to produce hidden caches of wealth, especially when it came to growing hidden gardens that could match the celestial planes in beauty, despite how bloody their hands were. Then came the Oath Wars, a religious war between the followers of Sanre, Norgabor, and Nethys, which tore Rahadom apart. Well, if we're being precise timeline-wise, it was the end of the war which led to the founding of Rahadom, but that is not why we're here today. Because of the bloodshed, the nation put into place the laws of mortality, and with it, the ban on all religions. As one would expect, the bloody faith of Achaekek was not an exception, and so the group lost what was, for centuries, had been their home. And then they found another one. Through a vision granted them by the god, they were able to find a new home, the island off the coast of Garund, Mediogalti. And they built up on the island, first building the Crimson Citadel and the new home for the Red Mantis assassins, and then the city of Ismagorti, the public face of the island and the pirate stronghold. And with the new home built, the Red Mantis assassins once again descended upon the world, though taking a slightly more flashy approach even while they remain in the shadows. Now, with the basic history out of the way, let's look at the group. The Red Mantis assassins, as mentioned various times, are one of the most feared groups of assassins in the Inner Sea region. Followers of Achaekek, they do their work with the signature sawtooth sabers and their signature mantis masks, no matter how goofy they look. The assassins work under a few common rules. First, they do not work without getting paid. Taking payment for every kill is a Red Mantis requirement, whether that be in gold or in favors. They also do not kill legitimate rulers, an imitation of the gods' view against killing deities. Finally, they are against all imitators. Anyone who uses their swords or their masks, who are not a Red Mantis themselves, is considered to be on the hit list. Leaders of the Red Mantis are the Vanai, or the High Killers, a group which is traditionally around 14 members and mostly women. The identities of the Vanai are kept a secret from the outside world, and they are in charge both of the organization as well as the entire church of Achaekek. The only one above them is the Blood Mistress, the mostly ceremonial head of the organization, but she is considered above the others, as well as being the only one with access to the Cesari Library, the deepest secrets of both the organization and the religion, and therefore she has the final say about Achaekek's will. As for the island itself, Mediogalti is in the northernmost island of what falls technically within the Fever Sea. Kind of north of it, but still in the area. And what was once the northernmost part of the Cyclopean Empire of Golgon. This island remains mostly unsettled, except for pirates, until the settlement of the Red Mantis assassin upon its shore. Well, was unsettled except for the Iruxian kobolds, but why count them as civilization? Here the Red Mantis will begin to build up their infrastructure, turning the area into their perfect home. As stated earlier, the natural inhabitants of the island are Iruxi and kobold, as well as dinosaurs, who are famed on the island. There are also plenty of pirates of all ancestries, the most notable being goblins, especially the ethnicity of monkey goblins, and the shark-like Adoras, who swim around the island. A small note on the monkey goblins: they make their home in the residence in the treetop city of Gonda Uj. How do you pronounce UJ? Anyway, the island is mostly rainforest, hiding ruins such as a tomb of the pirate Angus Amberleg, the Thunderscale 1, which is home to the largest kobold tribes on the island, and the dinosaur graveyard. However, there is more than just the main island. There are 4 lesser islands which are mostly uninhabited, them being the Hermit, home of the Hermit, Mosquito Island, which is the secret Red Mantis training grounds, Sharkfin Island, which has nothing, and Sliverfish Island, home of the Besmara shrine known as the Merry Widow. The main city on the island is Ilismagorti. Mostly a pirate cove, the location does not appear on any maps. The city was founded by the Red Mantis assassins as kind of a compromise. They needed to find a hidden place to call their own, but they still needed contacts with their customers. So they built the city to be a legitimate city, but also allow people to come and request their services in secret. The city is divided into 8 districts. The green is a collective term for the 4 residence areas outside of city walls. On the south side there is the slums, known as the bilges, the Jawbone, which is a combination of entertainment district and shipyard, and the Red Shore, the main residential area. To the north we have the Medina, which is the old town, Alcazar, the market square, the mainmast, which is the northern commercial district, and the Dandy for the wealthiest inhabitants. As for the other large settlements on the island, hidden in the jungle is the Crimson Citadel, the home of the Red Mantis. The building is divided into 4 layers. The first, Ruvari, is called the Ruby Halls because of the amount of blood spilled in the area. It is stock full of poisonous animals and traps in order to train assassins. The second, Sivlamlik, is a pleasure palace for assassins as it was for successful missions. All earthly pleasures from drugs to sex can be found here under a waterfall of blood. How they keep that going, I have no idea. Third is the Odolus, home of the Blood Mistress and the Vonai. And finally, the 4th and deepest, we have Phanes, the Ironheart, the home of the secret library which holds thousands of tomes of ancient knowledge, only a portion of which talks about Achaekek and the Red Mantis. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Always fun to spend time talking about the Red Mantis. They are an interesting faction. But either way, next week we are also dealing with another island, seeing what we can do about places we have limited information on. Though this one Pazzo has taken a chance to use in the past. See you then.